Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker, tēnā koutou te whare. To the Minister of Women's Affairs, does she stand by her statement to the House on 18 June 2009 that the government, quote, will leave no stone unturned in trying to close the gender pay gap?
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, yes. The full statement was, thanks to the Prime Minister, Honourable John Key, and my Cabinet colleagues, to support the Ministry of Women's Affairs receiving a budget increase of $2 million over 4 years to do the work.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker. Can she confirm that on average women were paid 12% less than men when her government took office, and that this is still the case?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, I got good news for the member. It was the case that the pay gap between men and women was at 12% since 2001 under the watch of the previous Labour government. After 18 months of the national-led government, the pay gap is now 11%, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I got more good news. I got more good news. I got more good news for the member. The 2010 OECD Gender Brief puts New Zealand's gender wage gap at the second lowest among OECD countries, comparing average earnings for full-time workers.
Order.
Supplementary, Mr.
Order.
Speaker.
Catherine Delahunty.
What new steps has she taken to close the gender pay gap since June 2009, other than commissioning research?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, I was going to give a very fulsome answer, but I know that you don't like ministers give long answer. All I can say is, with 18 months down the track, the pay gap closed by 1%. We obviously have done something right.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Well, I apologise to the member for interrupting a further supplementary. So that did not address the question. What steps has she taken? There was no reference to the question at all. She said that she could give a long answer.
No, we've heard sufficient. Order. I think the member makes a fair point of order. The question asks what measures or what steps. I couldn't hear the exact word, or what moves has the minister taken to help close the pay gap. And while I accept the minister's point that the Speaker doesn't want to hear an answer that goes on endlessly, one measure might have been helpful if the minister had such information. The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, I'll try my best. The Ministry of Women Affairs have 5 projects on the go. The first one is to address the flexible work practices. We have already got the research result sharing with the Institute of Chartered Accountants. And I might elaborate on that. We find out that one of the chartered accountants, very good firm, BDO Taranaki, provides an excellent example of how flexibility has contributed to dramatic bottom line results such as lower staff turnout.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, my question was, what new steps has she taken other than commissioning research? She's just describing research.
Order. I'm on my feet and there won't be any comments. Forgive me, but I thought I heard the minister talking about a policy around flexibility of pay arrangements, and which research appeared to show was actually having an impact, which was, I thought, exactly the kind of information the member was seeking. Catherine Delahunty.
Mr. Speaker, the minister was referring to flexible working hours, which is not gender pay equity. My question was specific to gender pay equity actions she has taken.
Order. I've ruled the minister answered the question. After I accepted she didn't answer it initially, I believe she has now indicated a policy measure of the government's that in her view is changing things. The member may... I say to the front benches on both sides, that's enough. I invite the member to ask a further supplementary.
To the minister, how does research into an existing problem help to solve that problem if no new policies are introduced as a result of the findings?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, I am quite happy to go on with it. There is plenty of leadership exercised by the national-led government in terms of, for example, flexible work practices actually contribute to pay gap. Because when women have to take time off to look after the family, if they don't give that time off and return to work with the same pay, that contributes to time gap. And we are working with the Institute of Chartered Accountants, actually with robust case study, how other companies can copy that model, and that would enable women not just achieving pay equality, but they can also aspire to break that glass ceiling in terms of women in senior management and women in leadership. Mr. Speaker, I'm just so fortunate and privileged to be working with this fantastic woman in New Zealand.
Order. No, order. Order, that's enough. Now, some members on the Labor Party front benches will be leaving this chamber soon if they do not stop being so discourteous. Catherine Delahunty asked questions, and the House has a right to hear an answer. And the rabble going on just now is totally unacceptable. I was watching so many discussions going on here, totally ignoring what was going on in the House. That's totally discourteous. They may not like the Minister's answer, but it was the Minister's answer, rightly or wrongly. The public can judge the quality of it. It's not for members to treat it with discourtesy. Catherine Delahunty, supplementary question.
Supplementary to the Minister. Did she ask the Minister of Finance to carry out a gender impact analysis of the budget to determine whether anything in it would make the gender pay gap worse?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, intelligent men and women in New Zealand understand economic growth is the ultimate answer, where we can all have good living wage and good quality of life. And
Order. The Minister resume her seat. I invite Catherine Delahunty to repeat her question. I ask the Minister to listen to it. And I ask the Minister now to treat the House with courtesy, listen to the question and please answer it. Catherine Delahunty.
To the Minister. Did she ask the Minister of Finance to carry out a gender impact analysis of the budget to determine whether anything in it would make the gender pay gap worse?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
No, Mr. Speaker, I did not explicitly ask for that, but I do not believe anything that the Minister of Finance budget has made it worse, because I just demonstrated the pay gap has closed from 12 to 11, so it must have done something right.
Catherine Delahunty.
What exactly, in the Minister's opinion, is the role of the Minister of Women's Affairs in trying to close the gender pay gap if it does not include introducing new policy or discussing the impact of government policies such as the budget on the gender pay gap with her colleagues?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Women's Affairs is providing the leadership, and our national-led government, have aspirational goal for our women in leadership, in our pay employment equality, and also eliminating domestic violence in New Zealand.
Supplementary.
Carol Beaumont.
Supplementary to the Minister. How can the Minister claim that flexible working practices is an initiative of her government when National voted against this?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, we did not do that because and I have just demonstrated.
Point of order, Sue Kedgley.
A point of order. The Minister has made a factually incorrect statement, and I think she needs to make a personal statement.
The member knows that she cannot do that, make that kind of, it's not a point of order. It's up to the Minister to answer questions, and she's got to stand or fall by the accuracy of her statements, but it's not a question by way of point of order. The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No, we voted against the flexible working hours, but we are talking about flexible working practice. So, like Mr. Speaker,